Hello and welcome to What Went Right, the show where I take a look at what aspects of a game's design are truly great. With the big 20th anniversary celebrations coming up, now seems like a good time to... Wait a minute. This feels familiar.
What went right? Pokemon. Again.
So yes, last week I already did a What Went Right video on Pokemon, talking about how its design choices worked so well for a handheld game. But now we are looking at some other aspects of the game that worked well but aren't specifically tied to it being a handheld game. And whereas last time I was decidedly vague on what Pokemon game I was talking about, for this video I'm going to be mainly focusing on the original to illustrate the points. So without further ado, let's rock. So this first part I am calling Starter for 10-year-olds. And this is the only part with a name, as I couldn't think up any witty titles for the other parts. And, as this name implies, we're going to be looking at starter Pokemon, in particular how it works so well as an introductory and teaching tool. At the beginning of the game, most of the Pokemon you encounter will be using moves like Scratch and Tackle, i.e. normal type moves. But your starter is different. It will very quickly learn a move from your own type, grass, fire or water. And it will actually be quite a while till you can get another Pokemon with these type of attacks. Now these moves are used as a way of teaching the player about type advantages and disadvantages. To illustrate this, let's look at the journey for the 3 starters up to the second gym. If a player picks the grass type Bulbasaur, during their trip through Viridian Forest prior to the first gym, they'll be fighting against bug types, which Bulbasaur's grass attacks will not be very effective against. However, during the first 2 gym battles, they will be up against rock and water types respectively, and the attacks will be super effective for both of these. If a player picks the fire type Charmander, the reverse of this will be true. The fire attacks will be super effective against bug types, but not very effective against rock and water, which probably makes Charmander the toughest challenge for a starter. Now, if a player picks the water type Squirtle, their water attacks will hit the bugs for neutral, be super effective against rock, but not very effective against water. What this means is that whichever starter is chosen will have gained experience of both super and not very effective attacks. But there is also a secondary concept these attacks teach. In the first generation of Pokemon, the type of the attack determined whether it is physical or special, and all the 3 starter types are special. This is a gain in contrast to a lot of the Pokemon you'll be encountering early in the game, who, prior to the second gym, the water one, will be using physical type attacks. And learning to use these special attacks can be very useful for high physical defense Pokemon like say Metapod in Viridian Forest or the rock types of the first gym, especially as you can learn that sometimes you may want to use not very effective attacks due to hitting on the special side that a Pokemon is not as strong defensively with. So, the deliberate choice of starter Pokemon teaches you about the 2 big battle concepts of the game, the typing of attacks and the special physical divide. Another powerful teaching tool is the bug Pokemon. Well, particularly the Caterpie side. Sorry Weedle. The bugs have very low level requirements for evolution, the method by which a Pokemon transforms into a stronger form. It's a quick way of introducing the concept without making a player put in a high amount of time before being introduced to it. And it doesn't unbalance the game, as Pokemon that have later level requirements will probably have stronger evolutions. So, it's an early reward and power up to introduce the player to the concept, but is overshadowed by putting in more time later on. And what's more, the evolution of Caterpie through to Butterfree can reinforce the teaching of special attacks, due to it learning psychic type attacks. And this is particularly useful if a player has chosen Charmander as their starter, as psychic type attacks hit rock for neutral. Another thing I'd like to comment on that Pokemon does better than a lot of its competitors do, is how it handles actually catching new monsters. And to do so, let me give you a couple of examples to compare it with. In Ni no Kuni, the way you obtain new monsters is by beating them in combat, and then you might be able to get that monster. It is left entirely to chance, and means that there is only one chance per battle. The second example is Shin Megami Tensei 4, which gives you the option to talk to a demon in battle, giving you the chance to obtain them. This puts the ability to obtain new demons in the player's control, but the problem with this system is it's unclear what needs to be done to obtain them. You need to give the right conversation responses to make him join you, but the correct response is unknown, and can even change while trying again within the same battle. So what makes Pokemon different? Well, much like Shin Megami Tensei, the player initiates the chance to catch, giving the player control of what new monsters they can get. But unlike Shin Megami Tensei, there are a well-established set of rules for how to catch a new monster. To initiate the ability to catch, you throw a Pokeball, with the type of ball affecting the probability. Furthermore, by lowering the monster's HP and inflicting a status ailment, you can also make it more likely to be caught. This means that while a player can affect the chances of catching a new Pokemon, at the end of the day, it is still a matter of chance. This maintains the feeling of control to a player for the act of catching a new Pokemon, while still having the tension and excitement of the randomness as to whether it will be caught. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching, and hey, maybe you'd like to subscribe or share this video with other people to help me out. It would be much appreciated.